time to talk about your health. Living a Primal Lifestyle with your hosts, Nico and Ellen Haan. Now, Nico and Ellen Haan.
Good morning, I'm Nico Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced and natural wild world.
To recover our natural health and freedoms and regain our rights. Good morning, I'm Ellen Haan.
Yeah, it's a beautiful morning in downtown St. Petersburg, 73 degrees, clear skies, and we're in springtime. It's beautiful out here.
Please subscribe to our Health Signals newsletter. It's $10 a month, and you can follow what we explore on the shows.
That's right. And also, of course, we invite you to look at our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic cell-ready liquid ingredients. The important part is all powered by fulvic and humic acid, which gets the good stuff out and, of course, gets the bad stuff out. It takes the good. Yeah, flub the opening already, Minnie. First day you're here. Well, welcome to the show anyway.
Well, you can use your discounted Tiger dollars.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And that's
go
really
to TFNN.com.
And also, I think the chat room is free for 30 days to new subscribers, so that's kind of cool too. But I want to welcome you to the show. Ellen's my wife, of course, and we've been partnered together for most of our lives, it seems like. And I wanted to say happy birthday to our oldest child, Kimmy.
Kimmy, happy birthday.
I'm not even going to say the age because maybe she won't appreciate it, but I'm really proud of her, and so I hope she has a wonderful day. So welcome to the show. I wanted to first go over a couple of the things with coronaviruses. We got 164,000 people infected, according to the people we've tested, of course, and 3,100, a little over 3,100 deaths. And we're pretty much at home, everybody. That's the new normal, I guess. And really what I wanted to talk about today, because well, first of all, people probably don't know that you're an attorney. And your specialty is in community association condo law, which is a real specialized field. It's different than anything else, and it's more of a problem-solving type of thing, like I did in sales, and we often discuss that. But about a year and a half ago, you started already working from home, so I thought this would be a good way to get into about what people are doing now. If you're working from home, pretty much everybody except service people in that.
Right. Yeah, I started working from home. It got to a point where when you're spending 2 hours a day on the road,
right,
that it didn't make any sense to me. I thought, I can get up, I can get myself together, and I can sit down at the computer at 9 o'clock instead of sitting into my car at 9 o'clock.
Right.
And not to mention the crazies on the road, which made me a little nervous.
That's for sure.
But, so I've been working from home for a year and a few months, and it's been an interesting experience. Now, granted, we don't have small children at home.
That's right.
Or large children at home.
Exactly.
And we don't have dogs and cats and birds and whatnot that distract us. I think, for me, the first thing that I noticed was the routine. Mm-hmm. You have a routine. Every morning you get up, you do your whatever you're going to do, you have your breakfast, you get in the car, you go to work. If you don't have that routine...
It just throws everything off.
Yeah, and what happens when you miss your routine?
Oh, then the whole day is missed, kind of. You know, you're bumping into things. Nothing is where it's supposed to be. I've felt that, too, sure.
Yeah, so I had to establish a routine, and the routine has to pretty much stay the same. What you need to do is you need to get up at a reasonable hour. Now, you can take into consideration that your traveling is not there anymore, so you don't have that hour in the car.
Right.
And you can, but you need to get up, get out of the bed. Don't ever sit with your computer in the bed.
Okay. I guess that's the first thing. Don't work from bed.
Don't work from bed, right. You have to create a space in your home that's dedicated for the work.
Yeah.
Now, what we did, we had a whole conversation about it when I started working from home, and I said, well, I'll go and work in the office. And what did you say?
I said that's not a good work environment because the office is kind of a dark little place. It's small. It's kind of cramped. It's got a lot of junk in it. We'd have to do a lot of renovation in that. But I thought it was better if you were looking out our backyard, which is beautiful. We can see the swimming pool and the deck. The birds come in, and when the weather is nice, you can open the doors, and you're sitting pretty much outside.
And natural light comes in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so I set up on our dining room table. One dining room table we have is in the Florida room.
Right.
So I set up in there, and you got me a second monitor, so I have my 2 monitors side by side, and I have my computer set up, and everything's there that I need, and I have an ergonomic chair.
Yeah, that's important too, that's for sure. Yeah, I remember getting that chair. And another thing too is right now, of course, you don't have a lot of disturbances because there's nobody coming over. It's not like we have guests now. Right. So.
Well, I did for a while have clients coming to the house for meetings.
Right.
When they needed to, because a lot of my clients are in Pinellas County, and
right. And that was really nice. I'd come home from my work, and there'd be people would be saying hi. Yeah. So it was a great experience for sure, and it was very relaxed. I noticed that one of the things you do really well too is you get up, you go through your routine, you have your breakfast, you get dressed, and then you go to work, and you have your established routine that you used to do at your office. Pretty much, it seems like you transplanted that to our home.
Yeah, and that was, I think, important for my state of mind, for how I approach the work, for how I approach the day. It gave me a feeling of normalcy.
Yeah.
That I could just following my regular routine. So I...
No, it was another thing that happened kind of was because this was your retirement plan. You were going to work half days. This was the plan. You were going to slowly, for the next 3 years, get out of it and teach other people what you're doing. And all of a sudden, with this coronavirus things, now the phone is ringing like crazy and you're busier than ever.
Yeah, I think, what do they say? Man plans and God laughs. It has worked out extremely well. I find it easy to, if I spend 4 hours at the computer, it's not 4 straight hours. It's 4 hours with, I'll get up for a minute and get some water. Or
that's important. It says here in some of these articles we've been reading is, first of all, get your technology in order. But the other thing is to listen to a life kit or make sure your bandwidth is great. But the thing to do is establish a routine and have breaks in between, just like you normally would. Get up, walk around, have coffee or whatever, and then get back to work.
But I think you have to padlock the refrigerator. or at least put on your bathing suit once a week just to make sure.
So when you start your day then, now, because you're not contacting people physically, what's the biggest change that you see?
Well, right now, what we're doing as a firm, everybody's working from home pretty much. There's a few key people on site.
Yeah.
But we Zoom every morning at 9 o'clock.
Now, Zoom is an app?
Zoom is an app that gives us video conferencing capability.
So it's a business class type of Skype, I would say, right?
Yeah. It shows you at the top of the screen. You see all the faces. You can see everybody.
Right.
You can talk to everybody.
Okay.
And we touch base that way.
So we'll be back in a few seconds, folks. Pick up the Primal Edge and take a look at our newsletter. We'll be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartleys, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Okay, welcome back to the show. You know, before the break, we were talking about some tips, like getting dressed for working from home, designating a workspace or an office space, keeping clearly defined hours. Let's go in from there.
Yeah, just to get back for 1 second to the Zoom-type technology, brush your hair and make sure you have your clothes on. Because we forget we're on video. People really forget. It's hilarious watching the staff and the attorneys across the top of the screen, and you know, people are yawning and are just like scratching their ears, and you know, you're on video, folks. You're on TV, so pay attention.
Yeah.
And but the other thing that's important is when you do work from home, when you're not getting out into the world, there's a sense of isolation that gets created. We're very social creatures, humans, and it's important. Use FaceTime. You know, when I travel out of town, we always FaceTime, so we can see each other.
Yeah, we don't usually do that if I'm in town, It's just a phone call. Most of the time it's a text, once in a while a phone call. But yeah, you're right. And that makes the connection much better. We see each other, and all that warm, fuzzy stuff comes back right away. Another thing is here in the app that I'm looking at, it says build transitions into and out of work. Your working commute gets you to work from one physical place to another, but it doesn't give you the brain time. You know, that 2-hour drive that you used to take, or the half-hour drive just getting here, gets us set for the show in a sense. So that time is completely gone. So now you have to invent your own little routine of getting in and out of work.
Yeah, and it's important to do that because it also makes it feel like more like a normal work day.
Yeah.
Get your mindset shifted. You know, it's like when you're thinking about going to work, your mind is focused on a different kind of skills and knowledge base.
Right.
And you need to have that. Okay, now I'm going to sit down at 9 o'clock, make a deal with yourself.
Right.
And then and be sure to shut down everything in regular work time best you can.
Mm-hmm. So it doesn't overflow into social hour with me.
Right. And take a lunch break.
Yeah.
You know, but set a timer if you're not disciplined enough, just set your timer.
What would you set it at? Like an hour?
An hour for lunch or 45 minutes.
No, but I'm talking about little breaks and things like that.
Yes, and then certainly at least once an hour take a break.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking too, because sometimes you're just so enthralled there, and all of a sudden 4 hours go by and you say, hey, I'm not doing anything.
Haven't been up from this chair.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing they said is don't get sucked in by the news or anything else. And I guess we're talking about Facebook and things like that. Yet it's still important to stay in touch with people. We want to stay in touch with our kids and our friends and other people in the business and maybe get opinions from other people about what you're involved in. So I think probably the news is the hardest thing. So no TV, things like that.
Yeah, I haven't watched the news in a few years. It's just, it's been I depend on you. If anything earth-shaking is going on, you'll tell me.
Well, that's a slanted view for sure.
Well, I get a lot of news from Facebook.
Yeah, that's another slanted view too. Okay, number 6 on this is, let's see, let me get on here. It says, communicate, communicate, communicate. If you don't usually work from home, chances are there'll be things, some bumps in the road if you suddenly go full remote. The key is steering through these bumps is communication, especially with your manager and direct reports. And I was reading an article earlier this morning that says that you have to, in a supervisory fashion, these managers have to communicate much more than in a physical sense. So if you're not in that same office with somebody, you really have to invent different ways of communicating so the other person doesn't think you're, stepping on their toes, but at the same time you need to know what's going on. So things like reports, making sure that if somebody says do this, that it's done. The regular management skills really come into play, but they're a little bit different. They're not face-to-face anymore.
Yeah, one of the things that we do in the morning on our Zoom chat is just check in with everybody. Do you need anything? And we talk to each other as well, saying, one of the attorneys will say, well, did you follow up on this? And yes, I did, or I need someone else to do it, or however, and we kind of apportion the work that way.
Right.
We also use it as team building.
Sure.
So we've had, Friday was pajama day.
Okay.
So it was casual Friday,
I can imagine the sight on that camera.
Yeah, well, no, it was fine.
The bunny ears come out.
From here up.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and the bunny ears were there.
Yeah, they were?
Yes,
my goodness.
yes. And then one day was Animal House, so everybody had their pets on the screen, and we got to see everybody's pets.
So this is actually part of number 7 on this, is don't forget to socialize and kind of make it fun and bring some humor into it. We're all in this together, folks, that type of thing.
Exactly. And I think that's the isolation. And it's very easy. If you're working from home, it's much easier to kind of slack off, and because nobody's watching, and you're not accountable to anybody during your day. But so far, so good. Our folks are very committed to making it work, and
of course, you have a nice tally. At the end of the day, you tally up what the billing is, and that gives you an indication of not how much work you've really done, because there's a lot of work done in non-billing too.
Yes.
But at least it gives you a track to run on, saying that I'm up to stasis as far as what I used to do.
My goals. I'm still setting my goals. In fact, I found I was more productive from home because I didn't have the interruptions and the people coming to the door, or the losing the word here. The temptation to wander around, or to go say hello, or do something else.
Yeah, just gather around the fountain. It used to be the fountain, the drinking bug, or the coffee pot, or
the water fountain.
Yeah.
The water cooler.
The water cooler, that's what it was. Yeah, that's right.
Half the people listening don't know what that is.
Yeah, they're probably right. The millennials, that's for sure. So it's working out really well for you, and I think there's a lot of anxiety that goes with this type of thing too, especially if you've never done it before. So you having a year and a half before this was kind of forced upon people. And do you think this is going to be much more of a norm? Companies like your company with TED, do you see this as a transition period now that we're going to expect our people to work from home more, as long as they're productive, naturally?
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting because I don't know what's going to happen once people work from home and see that they can do it, especially when the kids go back to school, so that you don't have those distractions.
Yeah.
It may be that more people will work from home. When I back in the end of the 1990s, I was doing a class called Trends of the 21st Century. And one of the things that I talked about was telecommuting. And that didn't develop to quite the extent I mean, there are quite a few people telecommuting, but compared to the workforce.
Right.
It didn't develop as quickly, but I think this is the impetus that it may need.
Yeah, and I look, of course, I follow YouTube quite a bit for adventure-type vehicles and things. You know, we're into four-wheeling, we're into going out in the woods with Bigfoot and things like that. So these are things we've done together. And I look at these podcasts of other people doing that. That's where we get a lot of the ideas from. So really, our whole society is kind of set up. If you've looked at these people, whether they're twirling a baton or whether they're cooking something, this is the new normal for sure.
Well, the other thing is how many shows there are now that you can tune into with activities for the kids,
Yep.
creative things that people can do for adults, for all kinds of things.
Yep.
So hopefully that will continue.
Yeah, we're on a break here, so we'll be back in a few minutes.
Would like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Hi, and welcome back. I should mention that new intro music I wrote that 1 year after we got married on our anniversary. It's called Give Your Love to Me. And it's a song
sure?
I wrote. You forget your own stuff, that's for sure. But it's a song I wrote for you on our anniversary. And it's funny, Al came up and he says, let's use this. And I had told him the story about it, so that was kind of cool. But I want to talk now about the impact of fear and anxiety in taking charge of your health and well-being, especially now with this virus. And, of course, you're working from home, a lot of anxiety there. I think it's important to know that fear is a human emotion that's triggered by a perceived threat. So if you perceive something going on, and this has built up a lot of anxiety, I know that's one of the reasons we've cut short the news and things like that, because I think it's kind of overblown in a sense, and no matter if it isn't, it's just the numbers you keep hearing those numbers going up and up and up, and that's just the natural anxiety, I think.
It's interesting. We're born with two fears.
Yeah.
Fear of falling and fear of loud noises.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Everything else is learned.
Yeah.
Fear and anxiety are very real parts of all of our lives at this point.
Yeah, fear prepares us to react to danger, and once we sense a potential danger, our body releases hormones that shut or slow down the functions that are needed for survival, such as our digestive system. All of a sudden, your digestive system is completely compromised in a way. It kind of shuts down itself. It sharpens functions to help us survive, such as eyesight, so our heart rate increases and the blood flow to the muscles, so we can run faster or do whatever we need to do. You've always heard the story of the man lifting up the car off of his child. All of a sudden, he's got superhuman strength.
Yeah.
The body also releases a whole bunch of hormones into the area of the brain known as the amygdala. Hard for me to say. Amygdala. Well, how do you know how to pronounce it?
Yeah, well,
not anymore.
Amygdala.
Amygdala. It helps us focus on perceived dangers, and they store it in our memory, and that's where the problem comes. If you've got a real trauma, then that's stored in your memory, and little things can trigger it too. So we have to unlearn those things.
Yeah, the problem is that we experience fear as an ongoing emotion, and instead of a short-term survival technique.
Right, like running from a tiger. You go up the tree, or maybe not a tree, maybe you go at someplace where you're safe, and the tiger won't be chasing you.
Right, and then you calm down.
Then you slowly but surely, and you think, my God, that was close, and heart rate is still up, and slowly but surely it comes down, so it doesn't come down immediately.
But today, we don't get relief.
That's right.
The anxiety seems to just go on, and it ends up with a situation in which it starts affecting your health.
Right.
That because negative energy in your head absolutely affects your body.
No doubt about it.
And it causes pain, it causes depression,
Mm-hmm.
it causes it literally affects you physically. It weakens your muscles.
Yeah.
It's
a pretty amazing thing. Of course, when you're fighting in jiu-jitsu, you know it's not a real competition, but that guy is basically trying to kill you. The only thing that stops it is the tap, of course. And a lot of times when you're in a really bad situation, if you remain calm, it's easier to get out of it. But if you don't, that's what the very thing that keeps you trapped into that hold or whatever it is.
I think one of the things we have to do is really, especially in these times, is find a way to relieve that anxiety and stress.
Exactly. Now, there's a couple of impacts of fear. This article talks about the physical health naturally. It also impacts your memory. Fear can impact the formation of long-term memories, can damage certain parts, such as the hippocampus. So these traumas that you have early in life that you don't even realize you have anymore, of course, like child abuse is one of the extremes naturally, or even physical abuse with a spouse, or maybe a buddy of yours used to pick on you, or maybe
bullying.
the teacher. Yeah, maybe the teacher just didn't like you, and it came by and pinched your shoulder every time you did something wrong. I had a teacher that stuff like that. So it's really something that. When you have fear, it digs back into your memories and digs out fears you don't even remember.
Well, yeah, they called earlier similars, and what happens is you just get triggered, and you re-experience. And the other thing is, one tip I can give you is, if you have a bad experience, if you have a negative experience, if you have a situation in which something goes horribly wrong or is ugly and nasty or toxic, don't tell the story. If you tell this, because what do? We run back to our spouse, we run back to our friends, we run back to our coworkers, and we say, oh my God, you're not going to believe what happened to me.
That's right.
And we tell the story again. And every time you tell the story, you relive all the negative experience.
Especially if you tell it in that same way.
Exactly. It's a drama.
And I see it over and over again. I see it with fellow people that I work with. I see it in social media, things like that.
Yeah, especially in social media.
Yeah, the brain processes things completely different when you're under stress, and you have to kind of realize that. And this is why we have things like taking a sauna bath, breathing exercises, maybe your favorite little drink. It could be a cup of coffee, but it could be a
green
shot
tea.
or a shot of schnapps, even. Well, whatever. I don't drink schnapps, but these are just things that I'm thinking
My
about.
grandfather did.
Yeah, exactly. And, we know many people, this was almost a nightcap. You take your shot of whiskey before you go to bed. And, of course, excess alcohol never works good, and same with any kind of drug, I think, probably. So learning these techniques that we talk about often on the show, like the Wim Hof breathing or different types of breathing techniques. But another thing I think about, too, is that there's so much going on here. We really have to pay attention to our health. And I think the first thing that impacts our health is probably food. So making sure that you have high-quality food. And when I talk about high-quality food, if you've been listening to the podcast before, I group things into 3 different categories, one being a primary food, which is really high in nutrition, then a secondary food, which is the type of food that we've bastardized, the meats that that don't have, you're not feeding the animal right, or maybe unclean conditions, or the vegetables that have been sprayed with GMOs or sprayed with pesticides and things like that. These are not the types of things you want. You want the highest quality. Of course, we have fallback foods, but those are the things that we use last, like the seeds, the holy bread that people have, the cereals and things that were brought in by manufacturers of food, because these are the foods that store well, and these are also the foods that are highly profitable, but not very nutritious, unfortunately.
And if you don't feel well, if your body doesn't feel well, your brain can't function well. You're distracted by the discomfort, or you lose energy, and it makes you less productive, and it takes away from your feeling of well-being. And we need that feeling of well-being in our cores in order to function, in order to be productive, and in order to be happy.
Yeah. And of course, there's certain things that we want to do because of the virus, like make sure that you drink water. And they're recommending warm drinks, too. So warm coffee, warm tea, warm water. Gargling is very important, because we know that the virus lives in our throat for about 3 days. So if you can catch it while it's in there, and by gargling, using various different things, whether it's salt water or anything else.
You're using apple cider vinegar.
Apple cider vinegar works really well. There's hydrogen peroxide also works, so you can use various things. So when we get back, let's talk about a little bit about how food impacts your health. We'll be right back, folks.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
The gold market has taken off topside in a large way in 2020. If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report took profits in 4 of its equities in the gold portfolio in the first week of January for a combined profit of 99.2%, with 2 positions left in the portfolio that have a profit of 67.5% as of January 7th. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back. We were just talking about the impact of food, and there was an interesting article out of Tufts University here in which the dean of Dean of School of Nutrition, Science and Policy started his article by saying social distancing, hand washing, and quarantine can flatten the curve, but what role can food and nutrition play? And he talks about 3 important ways diet can help alleviate the public health crisis.
Yeah, and the first one being the specific nutrition that boosts the immune system. And we want the highest nutrition. This is what our ancient ancestors always were after. They were after the biggest, fattest buffalo and the deer. Most animals look for the strays that are slower, the babies perhaps, or maybe the older ones. But the human beings were smart enough to know where the nutrition was. And you and I have been doing this thing for the last 10 or 11 years of going into primal food and eating more meat, eating smaller portions, and we think that's where the nutrition is the well-fed cow or pig or chicken that's allowed to roam by themselves, gets plenty of sunshine. That's where the nutrition is, and that's what our primary food is. And we think the other types of food, where if the animal's not fed as well, or if you're eating vegetables that have been around for 10,000 years and made sweeter instead of the bitter taste that we were always after, those are the secondary foods. But the foods that I see people going to the store for are the rice and the beans, which I call the fallback foods. It's something I would never eat unless I don't have anything else.
It's interesting here. They talk about immune response micronutrients: zinc, selenium, iron, vitamins A, C, D, E, B6, and folate, and then broccoli, green tea, turmeric, goji berries, things we've been taking immune system boosters for a very long time.
Yeah.
Right? We take astragalus. We take what are those ones with all the
NMN?
Yeah.
Yeah, NMN and the precursor to
Transveretrol.
Yeah, transveretrol is another one. Yeah, we use all those things. Of course, the Primal Edge is filled with the great nutrients. So, and it also has that fulvic and humic acid. So it's a smart molecule that really gets the good stuff in and detoxes you. And that's so important now, because if you've got a virus in you, you want that out of you. And this is the way it happens. It happens through good nutrition and the ability to detox yourself.
Yeah, and every time I read the label on the Primal Edge, it's interesting to me that I see something else, especially if I've been reading an article like this, and I'm looking to see, well, what's in the Primal Edge? And I always find it. It's an amazing formula.
Yeah, it's a great formula. And, of course, Paige was the one that spearheaded that whole project and got all the good things in that we need.
Yeah.
Schools shutting down over this. of course, kids used to be fed at school, and that was one of my things. I never liked the food because it was a big jump for me to go to American-styled, or at that time it was Canadian-styled cafeteria food.
Right.
And cafeteria food is probably the lowest grade food. First of all, everybody's over it. Everybody's mingling in around it. That's not a good thing, especially today. But so we've never gone to buffets and things like that.
And the problem is, there are children in this country for whom that meal is the only food they get, or is the most food they get.
Yeah.
And a lot of the schools have breakfast programs also, especially in high-risk areas.
Yeah.
And without that food, that's become a major issue. And there are quite a few different organizations and the schools that have jumped up during this coronavirus thing and have stepped up and put food out there for the kids so they can come to the school and get it.
Yeah.
And without that, they wouldn't necessarily have the food.
And the
they
other
need.
thing is, of course, hospitals. When you go into hospitals and see what you're being fed at a hospital, that's not the food I would eat either. I think my when I look at a vision of how schools and hospitals should be, that's where our best chefs should be. We need those people who know how to make great food full of nutrition in those hospitals and in those schools so our children can blossom. It makes you kind of think that the government who regulates all this really doesn't want us to have this.
I expect it's more because it's cheap.
Yes.
It costs less money to feed them that kind of food.
Exactly.
So
everybody's on the budget, the school is on the budget, and the hospital's on the budget, and they're not really thinking, the American way of thinking as far as the medical community is not thinking about nutrition as the number one thing to make you well.
That's right. And I think that's a paradigm shift that has to happen, that you have to understand that what you eat and how you prepare your food, all of it adds to your well-being and your health. And then that enables you to fight off diseases and to generally be a better version of yourself.
And it makes me think that the veterinarians, when we look at those animal shows that we watch, and the veterinarians, this is the first thing they look at is what has the cow been eating. Or what has the pig been eating? And when you go to the doctor's office, they don't even ask you about diet or what diet are you on.
Well, they ask you for a list of all your medications.
Yeah.
They assume you have a lot of medications.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Which, fortunately, we don't.
Yeah, so finally, beyond old age, the risk of this virus and the death are highest among people who have other conditions, such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes. So, the conditions that weaken your heart, your mind, you can think of all these different dementia type of diseases that we have, ADD, children who have autism. These are all compromises that the medicine that these people are using also is what the virus is using. That's that ACE2 receptor. This is where the medicine to regulate all these things go, and it so happens is that's what the virus is attacking. So people who are taking steroids or taking anti-inflammatories that are not natural, like the fish oil and things like that, they're going to be compromised because that's just one more slight that the virus can get a hold of, in a sense.
Well, you can't give it a foothold.
Right.
And even sitting in your home and being afraid, it gives it a foothold.
Yeah.
Because it weakens you physically.
Yeah.
And you need mental strength to fight the virus as well as physical strength.
Yeah, we also have to reduce long-term impacts, preventing and lessening the severity of these types of diseases. So it becomes very important, I think, to start looking at your diet immediately. If you're eating the average American diet, I would say you need to switch immediately. And now that if you're healthy and you're going through this is the time to switch. It may be harder to find something like this, but believe me, a few weeks ago when I went to Whole Foods, that was completely different than going to Publix. Publix had shelves empty. Whole Foods was completely stocked. Now, we haven't been back for 3 weeks because we prepared.
Right.
And that's the important thing. Now we don't have to go to the grocery store because, several months ago and 3 weeks ago, we stocked up on lots of meat, lots of fresh food. We still have the 3-month supply of canned and dry goods. But we'll never eat that, hopefully. We never want to eat that stuff. We just want it there in case we can't get anything else. And that's what I want to bring across to people. The nutrition is always in fresh food. And think about rice and beans and things like these are not fresh. They're already on the market for a year most of the time. A lot of these rices have been sitting in bins for months and months. And you know what happens in the world of stored
fungus
food.
and
lots of things,
and
for sure.
pests and.
We got another segment, so stick around. We'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights Day, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN has developed a daily programming lineup for traders by traders. We start every trading day live at 8:30 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien hosting the morning market kickoff as he starts the day off by breaking down everything you need to know about what's going on for the trading day ahead. At 9 a.m., Larry Pesavento takes your calls and questions live on the air for the opening bell as he hosts Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Trading Hour. At 11 a.m., it's Kevin Hinks and Alex Coffey from TD Ameritrade Network with Fast Market. Basil Chapman at noon with the Tiger Technicians Hour. Steve Rhodes hosts the Trader's Edge at 1 p.m. Dave White with the Power Trading Hour at 2 p.m. And Tom O'Brien closes out the day for the final hour of trading live from 3 till 4. Don't miss a second of our daily programming lineup. Tune in to Tiger TV every trading day live at TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Welcome back. We just have a few minutes, but I wanted to bring this article to your attention, how to use breathing to conquer anxiety. And I've been doing the Wim Hof method. I do other methods. There's yoga breathing and things like that. But this lets you shift over from the fight or flight response to the test and digest type of parasympathetic action that your brain goes through and your body follows along with. So it's really important to have the right breathing, do some deep breathing, do some holding of breath, because it's not just oxygen that makes a difference. It's actually carbon dioxide, which plays a huge role. Carbon dioxide is what signals your body to use the oxygen. It's a triggering system. Also, nitric oxide is produced when you hold your breath, which is another triggering system to use as oxygen. And oxygen, of course, is the thing that enters the body and gives us life. But you need to really pay attention, bring attention to the breath, slow down, deepen the breath. There's all kinds of different methods to use, but it does really involve that central nervous system and trying to calm yourself down, whether it's just taking a deep breath in and just letting it slowly. And one of the techniques, I was listening to Ben Greenfield the other day, and he was saying when he walks, he'll take a deep breath in for 2 seconds and breathe out for 4 or 5 seconds. And this type of thing is a calming type of thing. And what happens to the brain happens to the body. So your body starts to do that too.
Well, it's particularly important now because we feel, a lot of us are feeling out of control.
Right.
Life is out of control. We can't, there's just too many things we can't control.
Mm-hmm.
And being able to calm yourself with breathing is something you can control.
Right.
So it gives you a sense of accomplishment, but it also calms you and relieves some of the anxiety.
And you can actually feel that happening. That's the realization of it. So when you take that breath in and just slowly go out, you can feel this. And of course, Edward DeLimo, my black belt teacher who taught me how to breathe in jiu-jitsu, always used breathing to stem the flow of anxiety and calmness too. So.
Yeah, it's funny. Well, you know, we have the sleep number beds, and it counts your heartbeats.
Yeah.
And you know, so sometimes right when I go to bed, my heart races a little bit, and I do my breathing to calm myself for sleep.
Yep. So calm yourselves, folks, and we'll see you next week.
Be
Thanks for
safe,
sticking around.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Please.
Welcome to the show, honey.